off my January, February faves of the past 2 months, I actually just thought I would try on the products and then talk about them. And so I already have my face primed with Milk Hydro primer and then my Chanel Gel U, which I always use for under eye prep when I remember. My favorite foundations of the past 2 months, January, February, are hands down the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation and the Cle De Peau Radiant Cream Foundation. I am loving these two foundations, but if I were to pick one over the other of what I'm loving, and I usually, my marker is if I'm reaching for it and I can't put it out, it's hands down the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, which was a really big surprise for me because I primarily like, high-end luxury makeup, but NARS is, up there. It's not super expensive, which I appreciate, and it's a little bit more budget friendly. What I do love about NARS is that what I remember hearing is that this was started by makeup artists. So their color range and inclusivity of NARS is probably hands down, in my opinion, some of the best in the market. It reminds me of MAC. I don't use MAC makeup anymore. It's a little bit too hard for my skin and I tend to break out with MAC. But NARS has been, I don't know, they're just really interesting in that they're continuing to just reinvent themselves. So the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation has been my go-to. So I'm going to put that on today. Wear time of the product, it looks fantastic after probably 8 or 9 or 10 hours. And not that I'm looking for a super long wear. It's just that when I look at my makeup at the end of the day, it looks like it's fresh still. So that's really impressive. This is beautiful as well. What I do like about this Cle De Peau Radiant Cream Foundation is that there are some skincare benefits to this, and it's a bit lighter than this. I feel like this is more of a commitment that I'm definitely wearing makeup, whereas this, it's definitely a lighter medium coverage and kind of a light foundation day. So if I'm going to go for a light foundation day, I would reach for this with some SPF and some, skincare benefits. So I do love it for that. So wanted to highlight these two foundations, but for today's, favorite videos, I'm going to put on the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. And I do have a video for this dedicated already, which I'll link below and in the description box. And if you're ever watching my videos, I try to go ahead and just do timestamps. So if you're interested in scrolling ahead to see different content of the video, you can just go ahead and look at the timestamps below. So I'm just going ahead. I find it's between 1 and 2 pumps. And that's it. What I really do love is that this is probably the best shade match I have out of all my foundations. There is no scent, there is no oxidizing, and those things do make a difference on how it wears. This past week, I've been trying to use up one foundation per week because part of my project plan of like using my makeup, the ones that are older, so before they expire. So for example, I love this La Mer foundation. So, but after testing all these other newer foundations, I'm finding there is slight oxidation with this. And it does have the classic La Mer smell or perfume, which is a skincare natural smell. But either way, if you're not new to my channel, you already know I don't like scents in my makeup products and even skincare as much as possible. If it's natural, that's one thing. But if it's added, even if it's natural, sometimes skincare, fragrance, and makeup, particularly like foundation and lipstick, are kind of my deal breakers unless it's tolerable. So Chanel, I'm okay with their foundations sometimes, but if I'm not in the mood, I won't wear it. So fantastic color. Let me get in so you can see. And that was 2 pumps. It's probably my best shade foundation shade match. And this dewiness, even if I powder it down, will end up having this illuminating and lit with from within, just really healthy look throughout the day. So even at the 8-9 mark, even after powdering down, it just looks so beautiful. So hands down, my favorite foundation between the two of my faves of January, February. Next, we're moving on to my favorite contours and bronzers of January, February. So I do have 3 products. I've been reaching a lot for the Westman Atelier contour stick. And I have this in the shade Truffle. So it's pretty deep. I think this would go well for tan to medium deep as well. And they actually have one more. It does spread a lot. I was going to get the color Biscuit, which I think I might actually pick that up for the Sephora sale because I do love this and I do think it's really warm still for what I consider a contour shade. Now, when we're looking for contour, we usually don't want colors that are warm. You want to pull for colors that are more gray. And that's where my favorite powder contour of January, February is the Kevyn Aucoin contour in the color Deep. And it's tiny. It's this tiny little thing, but look at that packaging. It's just got this ombre effect of chocolate brown to this wine burgundy color in the light and gold. I just love this packaging. This packs a punch. That was one swipe. And then of course with contour, you want to blend that out. So you can see even between the Westman Atelier contour balm stick, you know, that's a different consistency, but this is much warmer, but this is much more gray. And that's generally what you're wanting to look for on contours versus bronzer. So I like both of them. I'm probably gonna pick up the Biscuit because I just watched it this weekend at Nordstrom, and I think I could try to use that Biscuit, which is a beautiful color. The other favorite I've been using is the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Duo. And this is supposed to be a duo of contour and bronzer. And I have this in the color 03. I love the packaging. So I know why people are gushing over Victoria Beckham. This tortoise shell, this packaging, I love it. It's reusable, so I can just buy the refill and keep using this luxe packaging. I did not have any problems with this. I know on the first release people were having problems with this mechanism. No problems with mine. This is the warmer one, which is, I believe, warm sand is the bronzer. So let me swatch that for you. And then they have contour as sol, or sun in Spanish. So I believe that's the contour. So I'm grabbing a Sonia G Lotus brush. It's this one that's angled. And what I'd like to do is actually pinch the ferrule and then go into this. This is the Kevyn Aucoin contour. So a little goes a long way. Just kind of just shake it a little bit. And then you just follow where it's naturally would be gray. So I have a very round face. I don't have much of a contour, but see, you can see it there. That's the line I want to follow. There we go. And you want to pull down a little bit or up. There we go. Okay. So doing the same thing again, but for the other side, pinching the ferrule. And maybe for me and my age or skin type, my skin, it tends to be oily. So powder works better on my face generally. The ease of balm I can see, but I do find still that the balm tends to wear off on me pretty quickly. Because so you can see there I did a quick contour. I'm gonna take some for here. Probably some down here along the jawline, and then bringing it down a little bit. So what you're doing is the deeper set areas, you're creating a shadow. See that? Okay. Sorry for the clanking of my earrings. Grab a brush that has kind of more of a pointed edge, and I'm just grabbing just this concealer brush by Sephora, and then just going down and creating that here. I'm buffing it down. And what it does is creates a shadow. See that? I would have to say my favorite brush purchase of the past 2 months is the Niji Pro. So this is a Sonia G Niji Pro. It's, I think it was about $85. And, you know, I got this Face Pro, right? And if I had to say which one I like better or love better, it's definitely the Niji Pro. This Face Pro is great. I just don't have that big of a face. So I wanted to use this for contour or bronzer. And I just found this was like really too big for my face. It's doable. I use this for when I want bronzer all over my face because it's not as precise. Whereas this is more precise. And you can see, I'm going to show you that. With the Niji Pro, it's a much more narrow, so you can get more precise with the application versus the Face Pro. They're both beautiful. This is actually a softer brush too. So definitely this lives up to the hype. I love this brush. So I'm going into the Victoria Beckham 3 bronzer side only. And you can just see that beautiful color. It's almost like I don't even need blush anymore. And you want to get it on the highlights of your face where you would normally get sun. Okay, so it just warms up the face. It's just a beautiful bronzer. And I don't have any matte bronzers because I did stop using the ones that I don't like. So I actually got rid of my Gucci powder matte bronzer and then my Charlotte Tilbury matte bronzer. And then after that, I couldn't find one that I really liked. And then I had read about this. So definitely my favorite matte bronzer in my entire collection at this time is definitely the Victoria Beckham bronzer. I love this one. And my favorite contour is the Kevyn Aucoin. So we're going to move on to my favorite products for the eyes. And then I have a couple. I've been loving this Victoria Beckham Tea Rose Lid Luster. And maybe it's old news for some of you, but I love this. It's definitely more emollient and the hype is real about these. I just think they're fantastic. It's definitely one and dones. And these are definitely more glam. So that's like a light application, but you can definitely build it up. I wanted to highlight the Phytosurgeons. So they came out with 4 colors for the Weathered Woods. I was only able to pick up 2 so far. And I ended up picking Oxidized Olive and Pewtered Pine. So this is Pewtered Pine, Oxidized Olive. Pewtered Pine, Oxidized Olive. And what's great actually about the last 3 products I showed you, Phytosurgeons and Victoria Beckham, is that, you know, I have hooded eyelids, but, you know, if I put any product there, it tends to crease. Well, these 2 products, they don't crease, which is fantastic. So that's something I always look for in all my eyeshadows, but particularly cream, because cream does tend to move around. But I do love these 2 products. And once the other 2 become in stock, I'll probably pick those up. I think Cherry Blaze, maybe, and then Magnetic Maple. I'm going to pick that up. But new to me, this is not new to Phytosurgeons, I also picked up Deeply Rooted. And out of all of the cream shadows, this is my favorite that I picked up. So it's got this brown base. This is the Flash Fluorescent series. So you can see a little bit of the shiny cool part. That's like, that's supposed to be teal. But on my skin tones, it almost shows up a little bit purple. And it has a brown underbase. And I just love this color. So it looks pretty brown. And it might look boring, but when you start to layer it, you can start to see the purple shift. Do you see that? And on the eyes, it's fantastic. So the Weathered Woods are much more brighter and shimmery, whereas the Flash Fluorescence, you might get actually some duochrome in there or a shift. So I'm loving this. I've used this a couple times as one and dones. If I were to travel, I would definitely pick this up. It's not that I don't like the Victoria Beckham. I think what it is that because of the glitter, sometimes I just don't want glitter or like something during the day. I would pick something like this, a little bit more subdued, or these 2, but sometimes I'm just not in the mood for glitter, especially if it's a daytime look. Definitely the Phytosurgeons, highly recommend, and the Victoria Beckham. And then it'll probably come to no surprise, my favorite 2 eyeshadows that I've been really reaching for. And I absolutely love my 2 eyeshadow quads that I picked up. The 2 Tom Ford quads of Tiger Eye and Metal Lust. And I did pick up the Tom Ford Smoky Quartz, and I just didn't like it. And it's, you know, this is what I will say about the new formulation. Out of the 3 new quads, I think there's going to be a color story that will resonate with, at least one would resonate hopefully with you. I know that this is an expensive quad, and that's what I actually had an issue with of, you know, I didn't love smoky quartz because I'm just not a smoky matte person. I don't really like how it looks on my particular aesthetic and eyelids, but some people loved smoky quartz, some people love rose topaz. This is the one I enjoyed the most because of the color story and how it shows up on my skin tone. I did go by Nordstrom's Tom Ford yesterday. I thought I would really love the rose topaz because it's kind of like cool tones, it's got silver, and I swatched them on myself and tried to put it on. And what I found is that actually 2 of the 4 shades don't even show up on me just because of my skin tone. And it actually was lighter than this. And, you know, this is what I talked about in my other review is that, you know, this is like an $89 quad plus tax. So you're probably paying $23 a shade. And what I don't like, if one of the shades don't work for me, and if I love the rest of the quad, I might be okay with it. But particularly if half of the palette, if two of these don't work on me, particularly if it's just exactly my skin tone or close to it, there's no way I want to pay for that. So what I'll say about these and recommend for people, it is an expensive luxury brand. If you can wait and get these on sale, I would highly recommend doing that. Or as a beauty friend of mine suggested, which I never knew this before, she was like, go to cosmetics, the cosmetic store. It's usually at outlets, and they do sell Tom Ford at those outlets. I wouldn't think that these are there yet. At some point, they'll probably show up in a year, maybe a year from now, who knows? I can't say, but they do have Tom Ford discounted at the cosmetics company store. But I find, yes, these are expensive, but if you find a color story that you like, then it could be worth it. But if none of those don't work for you, you know, don't feel bad about it. You don't have to like these products. Some people find they really like certain brands over others. I love Tom Ford for is actually their original wet dry formulas. And I'm going to work on, you know, showing all my Tom Ford quads and then ranking them and why. So someone did request that, so I'll be working on that. What I do love about this new product is the formula. The formula is fantastic. This new reformulation are the creamy mattes. And so in Tiger Eye, actually, there's only one matte shade and then the rest are shimmery. But this is really interesting. It reminds me, and I talked about this in my video, it reminds me a lot of the Natasha Denona Cream de Matte formula, but better. I actually don't care for, I know it's blasphemy, sorry, not sorry, just speaking my truth. Some people really love the Natasha Denona formula. I find them fussy, and I don't know why, just maybe it's my eyelids or the way I do apply makeup. But these are so easy to use. So easy. And I think if you're the type of person who doesn't want to fuss with makeup, or you're a beginner, this is a fantastic formula. And this is the Tiger Eye quad. And so for me, this was a disappointment. For some people, I was able to make it work by just layering it, or I think I might either wet it or use a Pat McGrath wand. But I did find a quad that worked for me. And so is it worth the price? You know, I'm never gonna judge what people spend on their cosmetics or their hobbies. That's always a question that's so subjective. I would rather not pay the full price of this quad, but I wanted it, so it made sense for me. I could have waited because I think these are eventually going to go on sale. So if you're kind of on the fence about it, I wouldn't say don't buy into the hype. Wait for this to go on sale. Pick the one that you're thinking of that you'll use the most, and then maybe it'll be worth it for you. So if you're a matte smoky eye lover, definitely go for smoky quartz because I think the formula is beautiful. For me, I tend to like shimmer shades and these gold shades and warm shades, so this is a win for me. But if I were to pick hands down which is my favorite, it's definitely Metal Lust. I just posted a review of this quad. I love it. So I love these cool tones. I'll link my video below so you can see more detailed of this. But I think I did enough looks with this, so I don't think I'm going to use that today. So today I'm going to use the Phytosurgeons. For me, the best way to apply it is either a brush or my fingers. I am going to try using the Niji Worker 2 brush, which is goat hair. If you have goat hair, that'd probably be the best. And because it's really dense, it picks up the product. So going in with Pewtered Pine, it's that color that's a little bit more purple. Okay, I'm not sure what happened, but my camera stopped filming, so that was frustrating. In the middle of laying down my Phytosurgeons, Pewtered Pine, and Oxidized Olive, which I have on my eyes, and then it stopped, the camera stops. I ended up taking a denser goat hair brush, and recommend not swirling it, that you just kind of either go left or right, but don't swirl it because you get more chunks and we don't want that to happen. You want a smooth application of the product. And I just went ahead and just laid it down here. And the more you lay down, I found the more shimmer application you get, and it's best to build with this shadow. I could have stopped there. And what I ended up doing was grabbing the Oxidized Olive, going again just with that motion of, you know, either vertical or horizontal, but not swirling, and just using that to create more of a crease here of definition. And that's something that when you have hooded eyelids that you generally want to do, you want to kind of create some sort of definition here. Do you see that? And another trick, you can just also just add depth into the V, the outer V here, and just call it a day. Putting that, because it's so emollient, it doesn't work for me to put it under down here, because what happens is that it gets too oily, and anything else I put on top, like eyeliner or mascara, will migrate and cause me to get raccoon eyes. So that is one thing to note about, at least for if you have oily eyelids and you're using this product. And I wouldn't say just this product, I would say, you know, for cream products in general, it's nothing with Phytosurgeons, that because my skin's so oily, I tend to not put cream shadows on the lower parts of my lid. So I'm just taking a clean brush and just buffing that out, so it's no harsh lines. And see how beautiful that is. Really loving the Phytosurgeons products, highly recommend. My other faves of the past 2 months, January, February, is the Makeup by Mario Master Hold Brow Gel. I don't know if this comes in colors. I think it's just clear. So, you know, it's a clear gel, and it has long brushes and then short sides. So, you know, I use the short side to get the product in to my eyebrows. And then I found if I do a light application of filling in the color of my brow, it'll work, but sometimes I have to be careful because it could push that brown product up. I usually use brown or granite. And then I go in, so I went in with the short side, and then I use the long side now to then push up the lashes so that it becomes spiky. So it has that like soft laminated look. Or, you know, we just know that this is trending now, this look of full eyebrows or bushy eyebrows. There we go. Can you see that? Okay, so I used up most of my products. I'm going to dip back in again. So that's the brow gel. If you ever wanted to try that, favorite these past 2 months is this Victoria Beckham Kajal liners. And I bought just one at the end of the year because, you know, when I'm trying out new makeup, I don't want to buy a whole bunch usually unless I know it's going to be a great product. I ended up getting the color Bordeaux, and that could be okay with this color. So what I'll do, and it comes with a smudger, so you can smudge the product out a little bit. I think this is a great product if you're used to using kind of really emollient or smudgy liners. I don't know if it exactly goes with this color, but I wanted to use it today. I still think that my favorite is the Chantecaille liners, just because they are a little bit even more easy to use than these ones. I think because these are so pigmented, they could get really messy right away. So for example, you see this, and this is why it's like smudgy. It's if you're into that smudgy, smoky look and it being a little messy, then this is the product for you. I wasn't necessarily going for messy today. This is what you end up seeing with makeup, is sometimes you plan something and it doesn't work out. What I'm looking for is, this is one of my favorite, is the Chanel Purple Chocolate liner. And hands down, I would say these are probably still my favorite products of liners. But I'm probably going to end up getting more of that Victoria Beckham just to try it out. I've been wanting the Cocoa one. See, I just went over that, and that got really dramatic really quick. So I basically have a layer of kind of the Bordeaux and purple chocolate going on. And that's not a bad thing. It's kind of a little bit edgier look. See how that kind of changed the entire look, which is fine because I didn't put any at the bottom, any of that Phytosurgence. So I'm going to grab that smudger again, but wipe it off because any residual product. I'm just going to use it to smudge. See if I can make a baby wing. The Chanel product is that I think there's some emolliency until it dries down too. Just going back in and just fixing that wing. There we go. Okay, so, and that's the fun thing about makeup. It's like, you don't have to play by the rules of like just one color. You can mix it, so you can just see some of the Bordeaux still. So I just ended up mixing it together. So that's what it ended up looking like. And especially if you smudge it, it's a fun color. Look at that. Okay, so I have that on the lids. And as I was saying, the Victoria Beckham liners, I'm interested in them. I'm probably going to pick up, either the Cocoa and or the blue one, just because I don't have, probably the blue one first, because I don't have blue in my collection. On to my favorite of January, February. I did end up picking this Laura Mercier Bellini brush with blush. It's a beautiful color. Look at this. And then I'll swatch it here. So I'm grabbing my Sonia G Phase 2. It's a goat hair. Really beautiful blush. Just brightens up the face. For highlights, my favorite highlight the past January and February has been this Phytosurgence Spectral Shine, Divine Daylight Spectral Shine balm. So the way it works, it kind of dries down a bit like a powder, but you do have to like use a brush to get the product down. So it's almost my skin tone, and I'm okay with that. I don't like blingy highlighters. This is the brush it came with. It's okay. I wanted to try it out, but I don't think it's anything. Well, I have a lot of brushes, what I'll say. I don't think it's anything I needed in particular. The Rephr 04 brush, because that's synthetic. I want to see if the goat hair actually does a better job of picking up this product, because what you do have to do is actually, you do swirl it. So you're doing this for a while. And then for some of you, how you like to do your highlight, you might not like this product because some of you just like instant bling and whatnot, but I don't like that. So I like it when it's kind of lit from within and really building up. You see that? It's very subtle. And that's it. I'm going to do this a little bit on my nose. And that's definitely, some people are not going to like it because they have to work to get a little bit of payoff, but I would rather build it up and slowly show it. hoping that, I think some of the colors that I wanted are not in stock, so I'm waiting for 1 or 2 colors to come back, and I'm definitely loving this product by Phytosurgeons. I have 3 more products I want to share of my favorites of January, February. I've been loving these 2 lipsticks, and I picked up quite a number of lipsticks, but these are the ones that made my top picks. Tom Ford Neutral Party color here. Hermes 21 Rose Épice, a rose spice, and it's this beautiful color too. I definitely have a type. So there's Hermes, and this is Tom Ford. So you can see it's pretty similar, but one's warmer than the other. So let me swatch Neutral Party for you. And what I do love about Tom Ford is that because my lips are no longer plump, you can see even if I put something down for moisturizing, you can see more of the lines. And so I just need a little more help these days to kind of fill in the gaps so that my lips look a little bit more plump. It does have the signature, what is it, a lavender smell to it, but I'm not bothered by it. And then there's Hermes, which is 21 Hermes, and this, let me put it on top there. Definitely a little bit, you can see a little bit more peachy, more neutral, maybe a little bit more brown. For the fun of the video, why don't I just try on both of these? There's something satisfying about this magnet. I love this. And this is actually, it is metal and it's pretty heavy. Hermes Rose Épice 21. And what I do love about this color is that it brightens up my face. I have found this Hermes, depending on the lipstick, the quality to be inconsistent. So for this formula, I love this color, but it's like not the best in my opinion. Super bright, but there's like some glitter in there, and it's not truly opaque. So sometimes I have to build this up. But this one, and as you saw, I have some pigmentation underneath. Sometimes the lipsticks don't cover that up, but you can see with this one, I don't feel like I need lip liner. I generally, I use lip liner once in a while, but if I find a lipstick that I don't have to use liner, even better. So I've been loving that, and I've actually worn this in a couple videos. And photos, and a lot of people do ask me like what I'm wearing on my lips. So definitely, I'll tell you that this definitely is probably at the moment my favorite, but this Rose Épice and Neutral Party have been in my purse on rotation the past 2 months, and that's usually the marker for me of when I know I really like the lipstick. So I'm going to take it off, put on Neutral Party. So you can see I took out as much as I could of that lipstick, but I actually have some natural pigmentation in my lips. And this is definitely more creamy, and I would say there's more pigmentation in this. Yeah, you can see it's like a different color, but it's definitely similar. I'm gonna leave this lipstick on for this look because I think it might match a little bit better because it's a little bit cooler to match this, whereas the Hermes, it's a little bit warmer pulling. So we'll end with that. We're almost done with my faves of January, February. And the last thing that I'm going to show you, the Milk Makeup Hydro Setting Spray, and I love it. I wanted a more natural setting spray, especially with, I'm still wearing masks and going outside, and especially in public places. This is made in Italy, and I stopped using setting spray just because I didn't want more chemical on my face, but this is supposed to be more natural, and it definitely keeps my makeup intact, but moreover, it helps with transfer on the mask. So, and I think I got, this is like the smaller size. I think it might come in a larger size. So, and it's just really nice in terms of like freshening up the makeup as well. Usually I have a fan, but I don't have it today. But you know, I didn't set down or powder down the makeup. As you've seen, I kind of want a dewy look today, but that's it for my faves video for January, February. So if you enjoy that content, please comment below and like the video. And if you haven't already done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. And if you have any other ideas for videos, please let me know. And until the next time, thank you very much. Please take care of yourself and others and just be you. And until the next video, please take good care of yourself. Bye.